Hey all, welcome to your Watch Me First for week 10. So week 10 is the week where we really get into the nitty-gritty of doing the statistical analysis for independent sample t-test, paired sample t-test, or a Mann-Whitney. And then I also give you scripts that you can use for your final paper. So let's first look what is in there. I have organized it. So here is some of the resources that you have is for the assumptions, because that is one thing that you check. If you are doing a quantitative analysis, you need at least 30 pieces of data. So if it's a paired sample, you could have 15 in one and 15 in another one. If it is an independent sample, then you need at least 30. So that's one of the things to think about, because you have to check for normality of the data set. But I'm going to talk about it again in just a minute. But this is for your assumptions, basically assumptions for all statistical analysis. You could literally open this up and only look for what statistical analysis you are going to be doing. So it gives you for these. For independent sample, you're checking these four. For dependent sample, you're checking these two. For ANOVA, you're checking these four. You may only be using these three in the very beginning, or these three this semester, but that is a great resource to keep for the future. Again, here is also another what is the analysis you should do. So you do a one sample t-test if you just have a number and a continuous variable. So remember when we talked about nominal, ordinal, ratio, and interval data set at the beginning. So it's coming back to over here, right? So once again, you probably will be doing one of these only. Let me mark it so that you guys can see. So one of these is probably what you guys are going to be doing. And we definitely will probably not be doing the one sample t-test. But these are ones you're going to be doing. So that is something, again, a great resource if you're pursuing your EDD or future. This would be a great resource to keep. Okay, so this is another one. And it is just a different way it is oriented, which includes what tests to do if the assumptions are not met. So it extends the document that was before. So let's look what we have. So here is your independent sample t-test, Mann-Whitney, and dependent sample t-test. When do we do independent sample t-test? When you do not have the same participants in one group than the other, like both the groups have completely different participants. That is when you do an independent sample t-test. Now, if your number of participants are less than 30, or if your normality is not met, then you end up doing a Mann-Whitney test. It's a non-parametric independent sample t-test. When do I do a dependent sample t-test? We do a dependent sample t-test when we have the same participants in the first and the second group. So think about it as like a pre and a post test. So you give a pre-test, you do an intervention, and then do a post-test. If you're doing that, then it would be a dependent sample t-test. So these are the three. In each one of these, you have a document in a PDF which follows the video. I explain it explicitly, and I have attached the data set for it. You don't need the data set, but some students like to do SPSS themselves. If you want to, you're more than welcome to. But that's the Excel sheet of the data set. These two are the ones that you would be needing most in all of these folders. So when I open this up, I'm going to talk about a few things. So here is all the documents. You have the research question, the null hypothesis. Remember how the null hypothesis is said, no difference statement. And then your alternate hypothesis. It talks about all of those. Here is the normality. And I give you the way to do it in SPSS if you want to do it. Otherwise, I have the graphs. You don't have to do it. I've created all of those things for you. So this is what goes on, and you can see all the tables that are generated and everything that is generated for you. Okay. So what do you have to do? You are going to be given, you're going to be writing a report. So here is your sample report here. This is the sample report that you'll have to do for the data set that you are given with. Remember, as you are looking in this report, there are lots of small little details to think about: italics, capitalized, 2 decimal spaces, lowercase. How are we putting all of those things? The brackets, parentheses, abbreviations, again, lowercase, 2 decimal points. All of these things are extremely important when you are writing a report. This is what is the technical part of writing statistical reports, right? So that has points in it. This whole assignment is for 40 points. So quite a bit of points are kept for those things. Okay, let's go. And so here is all that you have. This is going to be, you have a report, and I'll open up the assignment and show you, but everything that you need is there in it. You would have to write a normality report, and here is a script for it again. Okay, remember, this is the answer for this data set. So how will you modify for the data set that you have? That's what I'm going to be looking for, along with all of those italics, 2 decimal points, and other things. Another thing to note is the fact that that you can use, sorry about that, you can use this script for your final paper. That's the reason you're doing this, because you're going to be doing these analysis and you're going to be writing a final report for your final paper. So this is your practice for it and getting feedback on it. Okay, so I'm going to go back, and this is the same thing that's happening for the next two also. One thing to keep in mind is, if your p-value is 0.0000, you never put 0.000. You always put less than 0.001. P-value can never be 0.00. Okay, so that is something to think about. So if you open up your Mann-Whitney one, you're going to see the same thing. I once again give you all the data that you need. And here's the data. And then I give you the research question, null hypothesis, so that you get how. And here I actually put it so you have like the answers, all the answers that is there. And here is the report again, the normality report. And then obviously you're doing a Mann-Whitney test, and how do you analyze it? That is also over here. You do not look at, what do you look at? You look at the ranks of the numbers. So be careful on all of those small little details. You also have no assignments due the week before, so that you can concentrate on this one, concentrate on other assignments and everything else. And here is the dependent sample. So what is the assignment? Here are your data sets for the assignment, but the assignment is this. So when you open up your written assignment, you're going to see the data set, and here is where you're going to write your answers, right? Write and report on assumptions. Remember, I already gave you the script, and now you have to analyze it. You're going to say, where is the data? Here is the data for independent and Mann-Whitney test. Here are the tables, the histograms, sorry. The tables are right over here. All the descriptive tables are there. This is the kind of table you will get when I run your SPSS. So it's really important for you to understand it and practice it. And here is the section 2, which is the dependent sample. Once again, here's the data, and then you're writing the reports, and here are your histograms and all your tables that you have. Okay, there are 4 assumptions. Think about those 4 assumptions. Does it meet the number of participants, the normality, the KS test, all of those things as you are doing it. And here is your Dropbox. And here's the Dropbox for it. Okay, if you have any question, please post it on the course question discussion board. If you have any questions related to the assignment, I would like them to be posted on the course question discussion board so that I can answer the whole class. Okay, That is all for it. Best of luck for this. We are actually gearing up towards the end of the semester. So I wish you all the best and please reach out if you have any questions.